Good evening. I am Patty Wunder, director for Team WunderBar, and welcome to the Tuesday night team talk. I'm just going to up my lighting just a little bit. I could probably do something. Let's see if I can adjust the lighting here a little bit while I wait for people to come on. Is that too bright? I go down now with this one. We'll do that. All right. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Thank you. I had green on in my shirt, so I put green on the eyeshadows as well. Hello, hello, hello. Look at that. It's so fun to see all of you here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I kind of have a lot to cover tonight, and I'm going to try to get done with a little housekeeping and then kind of make sure you have your pen and paper ready. Hey, Joe Moise, long time no see. Yeah. All right. My throat has been hurting me because I've been so tired. So, and I feel like I've been talking a lot the last couple days. So tomorrow, Wonder Wednesday, Sarah Doyle, if you're on here. Oh, she won't be. She always calls me on. In the middle of her message, she'll go, oh, it's Wonder Wednesday. Never mind. She hangs up. It's really fun. Oh, Sarah's on. Hey, Sarah Doyle. I was just talking about how tomorrow's Wednesday. So it's my day off tomorrow. All right. Well, let's get into it. As most of you would have noticed today, especially those of you who've been with us a while, shout outs looked a little bit different this morning. So, Sarah. I'm going to swipe for a second. Otherwise, I'll get distracted because you'll make me laugh. So, as you noticed, things look different. Now, when I go, as soon as Miss Janice hit director, my workstation totally changed. My reports totally changed. Everything totally changed on my workstation as far as where I get all my numbers from. So, where I would used to see everybody, all of Janice's people that are under Janice and lower than like on the Janice leg, as we call it in the business, in the Janice Pettit leg, those numbers move away. I have to go dig for those numbers now. They are not part of Team WunderBar. Janice is, because she's my personal teamie. So she will always be part of Team WunderBar at her root. She was planted in Team WunderBar soil, but she has grown into a beautiful tree and has branched out with her team. Now, I've never gotten recognition, pretty much. I've gotten something here and there from my original sponsor, who really didn't do much. I got nothing when I promoted. Everything I do, I learned as I went. I have been a director for 5 years, and I have had to learn how to do things. I had to earn enough money to do some of the things I do. None of this was happening on day one. Like, you can go ask some of the people like Vicky, who has been with me almost since day one. And you can say, like, we talk about it often, how different things are, because as you grow into this position, you learn things, and hopefully you have a great leader. I had to learn to reach above, and I didn't really attach myself to Jacqueline until after I was a director. And so I did everything on my own, and I learned everything on my own. I am happy and proud to say that Janice is not alone. And Janice has the help and support of Jacqueline and all those directors as well. And when I was a director, I was the second one in New Zealand. So I actually I couldn't find anything. I had to wait for people to give me answers, you know, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to be a director, was to get my own answers and give my team answers, because I felt like I wasn't doing enough for them. Now, if you are in Janice's leg, if you are in Janice's downline or her personal team or whatever that looks like, so that includes Serena and her team as well, and Sarah and Zara and her team, it includes all of those people, and Sarah, like all of you, you're all under Janice. Janice is your director now. I am still here. I'm not going anywhere. You are still part of the family, but I've just kind of, you know, Janice has left the house and she's starting her own house kind of somewhere else. It's like a sorority. And I'm still here. And however, as part of her downline, you can't compare her to me. You can't compare me to Jacqueline. Me and Jacqueline are very, very different. I'm actually on her team page because I have American teamies, and so they're in her team page. And I'm OTT, over the top, compared to Jacqueline. She's very cruisy. She kind of just floats around. I am like there all the time, all the time, all the time. So nobody's directorship looks the same. Nobody's team prizes look the same, and you shouldn't make anybody feel bad if they didn't pick up on it within the she's only been a director for like 4 days. So ease up and be understanding, and understand that Janice is going to have things that she's going to want to do that maybe I didn't think of doing or isn't my style. She is a different type of trainer. She is a different personality type, although we're very similar in a lot of ways. But one thing I can assure you, Janice does what she says and says what she does. She is consistent. She wants to get it right. She wants to do the right things, and she's willing to learn and grow. And as her team and her downline, you have to be willing to let her do that. And you have to support her and cheer her on. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Directors are the top 2% of Scentsy. You don't get there by accident, not usually. And if you do, you definitely don't stay there. But this business is about supporting. Janice is now a closer co-worker with me almost. I am excited. I'm super excited to have a director, because it means that we can plan things together. And not that we couldn't before, but it's a different level. It's a different, you know, if we run promotions or she runs incentives, it's her team and it's Team WunderBar. But we can do things together and pool that creativity or those prizes or whatever that looks like together. We can plan together when we go to events. She is kind of like your new mama bear, and I'm grandma. And Jacqueline's going to be your great grandma. So we're still all family, and we're still all here to help each other. And the other thing is, there are plenty of people that don't like me. They don't like my style of training. They don't like my bluntness and my black and whiteness. And they may seek another director that they better mesh with. Or maybe you don't mesh with your sponsor, but you want options to a good leader. Janice is going to have relationships with her team. I probably still have relationships with many on her team. And some of my people have relationships with Janice. I don't care where you get your inspiration from. I don't care who you choose to listen to, as long as they're teaching you the right things. Whatever that is for you, and whoever you connect with and whoever you jive with, go there. As long as you're being happy and successful, that's all that matters. It's not about comparison. Don't compare yourself to other people, and don't compare your leader to other people. It's easy to do. You know, I do a lot. I completely understand that now that I've been in other people's team pages. I do a lot. I don't have to do it. The only thing required from a director in her stewardship is that they have to have some place for people to get together, like a Facebook page or a group page, and be able to provide direction to training or to support. That's it. That's the only thing they have to do. They don't have to do postcards. They don't have to do shout outs. They don't have to do mailings. They don't have to even text you. They don't have to post consistently in the team page. Again, as a leader, you want all those things, but technically they don't. We don't. So be grateful for what you have, and please, please, please support her and encourage her and engage on her team page. I know that things are weird because we've been Team WunderBar for 5 years, and I am very, very routine, and I'm very consistent, and I do the same things all the time. Change is good. Janice is going to do something, I bet, that'll blow you away. No pressure, Janice. But she's going to do something that I didn't even think of. And I'll be like, oh, I want to do that. That is the beauty of this. So cheer her on, engage in her team page, cheer each other on. We are all a family, but you're like another little family now. It's like the child went off and got married. You still love them. They're still part of your family, and you're still going to see them all the time. But it's a different relationship, isn't it? So, please be patient. I wrote some notes. Please be patient with Janice while she gets her footing around some of this stuff. Even though her job is still the same, to book, sell, recruit, she does have some extra added responsibilities, and she has to create that team culture within her team and her downline. So, do not be demanding or expect her to do things, or be selfish and only care about this, this, and this instead of caring about Janice. She'll get there. She'll get there. Lower your expectations. The best thing in life is to have zero expectations from every single person you come in contact with. Zero expectations from your loved ones, from your team members, from everybody. Stop expecting people to do things for you. Stop expecting people to act a certain way. Let them be themselves. They will show you who they are if you give them the chance. We are all family. We are family. We are. We're going to still sit together at reunion. We're still going to hang out on incentive trips. Janice just, you know, like she's going to create this amazing leg of her business, and she's going to want more directors under her, and I want more directors under me. The more the merrier. It doesn't mean we lose out on each other. It means we get to experience different things. You've had the same freaking Team WunderBar crap for 5 years. Sorry, my personal teamies that stay. I try. And honestly, because me and Janice had a meeting today, and I told Janice, I said, I didn't have this stuff all the time. I didn't have postcards until, I don't know, like a year maybe that I started afterwards. And then I did some postcards because I couldn't afford it. And then in, what year did I go? 2017 is where I learned about the charm thing. So that charm thing has only been around since like 2017 or 18, because I learned it somewhere from Jamie Sullins and Anna Hughes sitting around a table in New York. And I went, oh my God, I love that idea. So everybody's very different in your business and in your team and in your community. Everybody's different, okay? So don't compare. I have asked Janice if she would come on once a month on the 15th or the third Tuesday of the month, because I'm the first Tuesday. So I asked Janice if she would come into Team WunderBar on the third Tuesday of every month and do a training on whatever the topic and the theme was for the month. So this is take action in August kind of thing. So that's what we're going to talk about when I'm done with this. So you're still going to see Janice and you're still going to be in here. when she does her top 10 and her countdown with her team, because now that she's a director, she's going to be doing her top 10s in her team, or her top 5s, or whatever she decides to do. I know when my team was smaller and I didn't have as many, I think if it was under 50, I think I did top 5, because it seemed weird to do top 10 if I only had 30 people or 20 people. It just seemed weird to me. But it's up to Janice. In the end, it's up to Janice. But it's her job to do that now and recognize her team. And here is the best analogy that I learned about this when I was thinking about this today. When we get an incentive trip announced, when it's global, everybody goes, oh, everybody, it's global, it's all countries going into one place. And when it's regional, everybody goes, huh, bummer, it's not global. This is what my analogy I came with today. Is it exciting to stay with the big group and see people from all over the world? And you're like, oh my God, I get to see Jacqueline, and I get to see Anna, and I get to see all these people because it's global. Do you know what? You don't see people. You really have to schedule a time or you won't see them on that trip, because there's 3,000 people on the trip. So you think you're going to spend time with all these people, and you hardly get to see Heidi and Orville except if they're talking, because there's over 3,000 people on the trip. When you have a regional trip, it is like 7. What do we have? 7? We have 700? No, I don't even think we had 700. There was one trip, I think there was like 70. There's not as many, maybe a couple hundred. I'd say 300-500, something like that. You see people all the time. You get to have dinner with Orville and Heidi. You get a lot of things that you do not get at a global, because it's smaller and people can access things easier, and you can find people faster, and you're not spread out all over the place. So in my brain, that's very similar to this. This might be where the bulk of people are. And there may be, I don't even remember how many she has, like 23 people in Janice's downline. But that community, you guys that are the foundation of Combined Scents, you guys actually are the bomb diggity, because you guys together with Janice get to build what you want this to be. You're going to be the OGs of Combined Scents. Like we have the OGs of Team WunderBar. It is, you have to find the positives in things and not be scared of change. She will do, I promise you, she will do an amazing job. So if any of you are scared, because I hear there's some people that are a little bit like, do we have to leave Team WunderBar? No, you don't have to leave Team WunderBar. I do think at some point that people will stop adding people into Team WunderBar. Maybe not, but right now we're just kind of winging it and seeing, this is how we're winging it, to see how we're going to do this, and where people feel comfortable and can come and get different personalities and get different styles of leadership. And I just want to work with Janice. I want us to be stronger together, and give different training so that both of our teams achieve more and grow more and are inspired by different people. So it's not always me going blah, 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 blah at ya. Okay. So the other thing I want you to remember is, if you watched General Session 2, was it, with Orville? And he talked about the campfire. The idea of moving back to allow others in is very much what's happening here. It's not all about you. It's about the whole, getting everybody warm. It's about supporting each other. It's about welcoming in new people. It's about making room for more leaders. Okay? So I also am considering maybe doing Zoom calls once a month instead of Facebook Lives. Not sure, but something I'm throwing around so that me and Janice can both talk. I could bring her on as well on Facebook. So it's just something that we'll talk about in the future, and we'll plan things. She has my 100% support. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say with that. I love you, Janice. Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions about anything I just said, or you have some concerns or worries? Don't worry that she's on here. We just want to get it nipped in the butt, and we just want to make sure that you're fine, you're staying. And, but shout outs are going to look different. The other thing is I'm hitting star director numbers and I'm not a star director, which means I'm doing mail and shout outs and time and money on a lot of people. So one of the beauty things is, which is what I do with my customers too, you cannot take care of. I remember when I had something like 400 customers or something like that, or like, it was too much. And I finally said, I need somebody to join and take your friends. Like, please, people join and take your friends. I cannot give you the amount, the level of service that I like to give. That was before Amy, because Amy would have helped me a ton. I can't do that. So can somebody join and take care of your friends for me? That's kind of the same thing as this. And the other thing is, if you notice the top 10 in group and the top 10 in Team WunderBar, most of the top 10 was actually Janice's team. It's all her downline. It's her team. And when you guys have moved and can get celebrated with Janice, it allows other people to have a chance as well, right? It's that campfire. Move aside so other people can come up. And that's a beauty of it too. It does. I even told Janice, it helps me financially and it helps my time. The more people branch out and take care of their teams, because I send no less than 50 pieces of envelope, like 50 envelopes a month. And most of them are at least $1.20 a piece, just to give you an idea. And then I have things overseas as well. So it all helps. So I just need you to understand and just go with it and just trust the process. Janice is amazing, and she doesn't know how not to be amazing, and she doesn't know how not to do things well. She is like, there's a reason why she is a black belt in karate. She's disciplined. She sets her target and she hits it. It's who she is. She's softer than me though. So, if she sends you to me, it's to basically kick your ass. I'm just kidding. Because she's nice, but she could end you because she's a black belt. So there's that. And I'll be like, your turn. Finish him off. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway. All right. Nobody has any questions. We're going to go on with training. And thank you, Sarah Doyle, for all your support and your positive words and encouragement to Janice as well. I know it's been very well received and appreciated because it is a big deal. So, all right. So I wanted to talk to you guys today. Everybody is busy. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but everybody chooses how to use them. And then you have the people that don't choose how to use them. They let the day run them. Oh, well, I planned to do this, but then this happened and this happened and this happened. And this was something we even talked about today. And I've talked about it with somebody else in other coaching calls that I've done. What if your Scentsy business was your job? Actually, I talked to somebody else this week about it as well. Because people think that when you work at home, that you're there to answer the door, to take phone calls, to do the laundry, to clean the house, to be at everybody's beck and call. You are not. Because if that was another job and you had to check in and be in front of your computer and do the work, they would not be happy or keep you if you're like, oh, I didn't do any work today because, my dad came over and just wanted to talk. Well, you need to put dad in his place and say, Dad, I'm working. I can't. Oh, I have a neighbor that always stops by. Well, put a note on the door. Working. Come back at this time. I have a break at this time. We have the ability to control our time and flex our time because of the beauty of working from home. or having a job that allows us to work from anywhere. But people, if you don't put the boundaries in, they're going to take full advantage of you. That includes calling your freaking director or calling your sponsor at some ridiculous time of the night for most people, or the morning for me, and expecting an instant answer. Nothing in Scentsy is an emergency. And if it is, call Scentsy. Call consultant support. Don't waste time if you have an issue contacting your director or your sponsor. Call consultant support. And if they're closed, you can wait. There isn't an emergency unless, and I've learned this because I went, oh, but you want things right now. There's usually a reason. Every time a payment doesn't go through and I'm like, oh, freaking person and their payment didn't go through. Every single time my order doesn't go through at 11 o'clock at night because I have to call somebody the next day because their credit card declined. Every time. And I'm not joking. Every single time I wake up to 1 or 2 more orders. Hey, have you placed your order yet? Can I place this order? Every single time. And I just laugh because when the credit card doesn't go through, I go, well, I guess there's somebody else that's going to be ordering tomorrow morning. It's just kind of become this thing. So what used to stress me out, now I'm just like, I'll contact them. But I tell them, you know, my end of month, I tell them is like a day or 2 before the end of the month in case I have to chase them. And depending when the end of the month is, what day it is. So you have to be able to set boundaries. If you don't plan your time, I did a planning video on my YouTube channel about how to plan your week and figure out where your Scentsy time is and then commit to it. So it's not a long video. Climbers are going to end up watching it for next week's homework, but it's on my YouTube channel. So if you want to, go look there. But if you don't know if you're coming or going, you're not going to think you have time for Scentsy. But there are people with 6 kids and 3 jobs and a business at home that still are kicking ass and have amazing PRV and achieving trips and all those things because they've learned to budget their time, and they've also learned where their sweet spots are and what to do during those sweet spots. And that's the thing. If you only have 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there or an hour on this day, use that time wisely. Just because you don't have a part, like for instance, my party, I do parties Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. I do not do parties Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays because Mondays is computer days. Tuesday, I focus on team things. Wednesday is my day off. And Thursday, if I don't have anything planned, is my second day off. But if I have something planned, I will accept bookings on that day. I also volunteer on that day. So, but if somebody comes to me and says, hi, can you do a party on Tuesday? I say, no, I can't. Oh, I had a person that wants to talk to me about recruiting this week. And she said, can I meet you on Tuesday? I said, no, you can't. I have coaching calls. I have between 4 and 5 coaching calls Mondays and Tuesdays as well now. So I'm talking to people and helping them grow. That Monday and Tuesdays is a no, and then no Wednesdays. That's my day off. And if I don't take that day off, it really affects me. It affects my body. It affects my mind. It affects everything. And I am not a nice person. And I get really tired. So make sure that you're planning your time, because when that's planned, you kind of know the rest. All right, I'm going to bullet point some things as well. So plan your time. Be prepared. You should always make your samples in bulk for the month. Make them all at one time. Watch TV at night. Have your kids or your husband or partner or whatever help make them and assemble them and get them all done. I would say you're going to need about 100 or more a month of samples. You want 50 to hand out to strangers, and you want the rest to go in orders and people that you know. So, and you might want to put more than one in each order, whatever that looks like, right? So you want to make samples in bulk, and you want to also probably have some in a mobile office. So in your car, you want to make sure you have catalogs. You want to make sure you have some order forms. You want to make sure that you have recruiting packets and catalogs and things like that, and samples in case you see somebody out and about, that you have that already in your car. because when you are prepared, you have confidence. And when you have confidence, you will easily go, oh, I have a sample of that. And it will be a beautiful exchange. If you don't and you're not prepared, you won't talk about it because you feel like, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I don't have anything with me. Trust me, I've done it. I have done it multiple times. Even the other day with when I said I went to the nail salon, I didn't have, because I literally didn't want to go talk to anybody. I wanted to go there and shut off the world. And I wore my sweatshirt. So a lot of times I won't wear it if I'm trying to hide that day. But I wore my sweatshirt, and that's why she's like, oh my God, you do Scentsy. And I worked the whole pedicure. And then I went to the florist on Saturday, was not wearing Scentsy, but the owner of the florist, or the lady that manages the florist, said, hey, how's business going? Because she knew me, and I said, oh my God, it's going amazing. Thanks. It's been crazy. So, so good. And the lady behind the counter that I didn't know said, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm a Scentsy consultant. And she goes, oh my God, I need a Scentsy consultant. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. She goes, I got Scentsy as a gift, but I didn't know who to call. And I didn't know where to get my things. And I was like, wasn't there anything on the warmer or the wax? And she's like, no. And I went, better not be one of mine. That was my first thought. That's always my first thought when someone says things like that. I'm like, have I not taught you anything? So I'm assuming it's not mine. But I immediately pulled out one of my recruiting packets out of my purse, because I always have 3 of these in my purse. And I said, here. I said, she goes, oh, do you still have Star Wars? And I said, yeah, till tonight. $6.59. After that, you can't order it anymore. She's like, oh, I want to get my son Chewbacca. I said, well, my business card's in there. Go to my website, go to collections, and then go to Star Wars, and you can order it. But you need to do it before $6.59 tonight. Otherwise, it's gone. So that's how, but if I didn't have this, imagine how that transaction would have went. So just make some things up and keep them in your car. I have a little plastic container in my car that has everything in it, and I just restock it every so often. And when you're really busy in your life, if you have, I always tell people, keep a bowl of samples by your door. And every time you leave the house, grab at least 3. And make sure that you don't come home until they're all handed out. And if you're a busy person, that's not going to take you very long. But that way you're handing them out and they're by the door so you can grab them before you go. But as you go through your day, you just sprinkle. Who can you make smile? Who can you give a compliment to? When somebody hands you a receipt, you hand them a sample. This isn't taking up any more of your day than your normal day. You're just adding value and a smile and something interesting to somebody else's day. It's about thinking about other people before yourself, just for a second, and having about 15 seconds of courage. But it doesn't cost you any more time. You're doing these things anyway, so just sprinkle Scentsy along the way. It's like the crumbs to Hansel and Gretel. Just don't bake them in the oven. The Amy app, if you're not using the Sell with Amy app, I can tell you over and over and over, you do get a free trial to try it. But this has saved me so much time, so much stress with an ADHD brain and being tired, and I had a concussion last year and all those kind of things. It is my brain. Because when I used to do it with paper and binders and folders and files and all those things before Sell with Amy came along, I was letting people drop through the cracks. There were people that I probably never followed up with because I couldn't find the sheet, or I didn't see it, or I had to grab things to take with me everywhere. I don't even look at my receipts anymore because it's all in Amy. It syncs with Workstation, so it's always updated. It tells me this person placed an order. Make sure to thank them. Hey, make sure to follow up, because you always want to say thank you after they place the order. And then you check in with them after they've received the order to say, hey, how is everything working? I hope it's all working as promised. Please let me know if you have any questions. And then you contact them probably in another month or two and see if they need any refills. Amy reminds you. I don't have to remember the day. I don't have to book it in my calendar. I don't have to jot it in anything. I don't have to keep opening shit to look. Amy does it for you. Same thing with the team. Now they've integrated the team, so you can actually touch base with your team 3 times a month. And at first I was using their templates, and then I was doing lots of training about crap that's in Workstation. I said, this is not a good use of time. I'm going to use that template as a mini newsletter 3 times a month, and I'm going to train on training nights. And that's how we've come to this right now. But my team knows they got text messages from me, and I only send it to my front line. It's their job to send it to their downline. So, and I know a couple of you have reached out to me and said you're not getting anything. So I've added you to mine slowly but surely. I just have to always remember to do that. So sometimes it's like, oh, I forgot to put it in hers. So if your brain is fried and overwhelmed, you definitely need to sell with Amy. It will help you clear your brain. I promise. It's amazing. The other thing is I do my follow-ups on the toilet in the morning. When I get up, it tells you have this many, and you basically push follow up with Susie Q, and then you choose if you wanted to text or email or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or whatever, and you click which one you want. It has the message in there, and you press send. You don't even need to be awake to follow up with your customers. I do it half asleep on the toilet. Seriously. I love Amy. I would pay $50 a month for Amy if I had to, because that's how amazing it is. Busy people get more done. They're more organized. They have their time is more planned out, and they know and see more people throughout their day. Take one day at a time, one step at a time. Every night before I go to bed, I write down a list of 6 things I need to get done tomorrow, and what I basically need to get done in my business and any personal things. And the next day, that way it's dumped. I don't have to remember anything. I don't go to bed and just keep thinking about it, because my brain will do that. It's written down, it's done, and I leave it on my desk and I go to bed. I do have a notepad and paper next to my bed just in case I get a thought, and then I won't be able to go to sleep until I write it down. And just so, because if I don't write it down, I'm going to think I forgot it. So I write it down. So now I don't have to remember it. Goodbye. It's done. It's on that piece of paper. But the whole employee, you know, at night, pretend you have an employee coming the next morning. Like what I posted the other day. Pretend you have an employee coming to help you do your business. What would you want them to achieve in your business? Well, usually I want 2 bookings. I want 200 PRV. And hey, let's talk to 5 or 10 people about recruiting. All right. So next morning when I wake up, I'm now the employee. You have to do those things. So is it always the easiest things? No, but the easy things aren't always what gets you where you need to go, is it? And being comfortable doesn't always get you where you want to go. It's being uncomfortable and taking a risk and stepping out of that comfort zone, even for just a minute. Brain book. I know Annette used to do this and this was really useful to her, because when there's so much going on up here, you feel like, and especially like if you're listening to all these SFR training videos. So I haven't really been sharing a lot of videos because, woo, there's a lot of SFR training videos. And they're amazing, but there's so much. So a brain dump book is just get a notebook. Use your SFR one if you want. I have mine sitting here. But whenever you have thoughts about something you want to do in your business, write it in the notebook. It doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason. Just jot it down. And then there's days that you can be like, what was the idea I thought the other day? Look in the notebook. It's basically a brain dump book. You just unload everything in your brain into the notebook, and just keep the notebook with you so that when you're going about your day, or have a note section in your phone when you're away from home. But again, it frees up your mind in the chaos. Here's an easy one that everybody that has minimal time seems to do, but they all say get up an hour earlier. I am not a get up hour earlier. I am a stay up an hour later kind of girl. So I'll stay up to 4 a.m., but I'll still sleep until 12 because I'm not getting up earlier, but I'll stay up later to get things done. You know, when last night, the first Monday night of every month, I stay up until I have scheduled all those posts to post the next morning while I'm sleeping. And it takes a while. So, but I don't go to bed, but I know when I go to bed, I'm like, oh, I can sleep now because it's done. And you just sleep better knowing you accomplished what you needed to accomplish. Pretend you are a storefront and you have an open and close sign on you all the time. People don't buy Scentsy from you. People buy you. So if there's 150 of Scentsy consultants standing in a line, what would make somebody buy from you and not from the person next to you? People have to know, like, and trust you to do business with you. And the only way they can do that is if you talk to them and you build a relationship and you make them feel good. And basically you connect. But if you're not telling people that your store's even open, if you are walking, what if the store, I'm trying to think, there's some stores that if they didn't have the open close sign, you wouldn't even know that they were open or closed because, like, there's a glare on the window and you don't know and things like that. You have to tell people you're open. This means posting every day on social media. This means sending texts and following up. This means using your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories. It means attraction marketing. So you're sharing your life. You're doing it anyway, because I see most of you on Facebook, but you're not incorporating Scentsy into it. How can you still share your life, build the relationships, but build Scentsy into it? That is how you get good marketing pictures. That is how you get people to know you. It's not just about Scentsy. They want to know you and they want to feel connected to you, and you want to engage on their pictures and with their family and compliment them and tell about, ooh, your new house is beautiful, and oh, I love your dress, and all those things, so that you can build the relationship and not just post. So if you have time to sit on Facebook and scroll, you have time to share your business and open your storefront. My rule of thumb, especially at the holidays, is if the mall is open, I'm open, because that is your competition. And when people say, oh, people don't have any money after Christmas, it's bullshit. Have you ever been to the mall after Christmas? There's plenty of people walking around with bags in their hands. You just haven't spoken to them loudly enough and filled the need that they had to think that they need that or want that. Branding. Make sure that you have a magnet on your car. You can get them from Vistaprint, the Scentsy ones, or whatever you want to do. So make sure that you have the correct compliance information on that. Have the magnet on your car. Have the sticker on your car. Have, wear your Scentsy clothes or your Scentsy purse or your Scentsy hat. I will tell you more times than not, I don't want to talk to people, but if I wear it, someone will follow me and talk to me about it. And I had somebody waiting at my car once. You sell Scentsy? Yes. I need washer whiffs. Didn't know her from a bar soap, as you say. If you're busy, why not make your lotto win, as I keep saying? It's basically like a lottery. You're doing all the things. You're sending the emails. You're sending the text. You're doing your Facebook follow-ups. You have branding on your car. You're wearing a Scentsy t-shirt. You sent samples to your kids' school, to the teachers. You are covering all bases so that one thing will hit. And maybe another thing will hit another day. Why wouldn't you cover all your bases and make it easier for people to contact you, find you, and place orders with you? You're not doing anything different than slapping a magnet on your car or putting decal on your window or putting a sweatshirt on when you go for a walk through the neighborhood. It's not anything, you're not wasting any more time. You're not giving any more time. You are enhancing the time that you're already spending doing other things, making money for yourself by being consistent and getting the message out that your store is open. To-go bags. I have had a to-go bag since I was little. Those of you that watch Criminal Minds, their to-go bag looks very different than mine. But I am an only child, and my grandparents raised me, and they always said, bring a bag of stuff to do. We were not put on this earth to entertain you. Okay. So to this day, people laugh at me because I always have a bag of something to do. Even when I go to somebody's house, I bring something along because usually I get bored with people. And my friends know that, or they have kids, or they're doing something else, and I'm just there hanging out. So I don't expect people to entertain me. However, I still have work to do. So, you know, in your to-go bag, do you have pens, highlighters, a book, a notebook, a calendar, greeting cards, postcards, the tags that you use for your orders? You can start writing things out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, have things that you know you have to do, just have it in the bag. And when you have to go sit somewhere at a doctor's office or in the car waiting to pick up your kids or whatever that looks like, you might as well do something while you're there and make good use of the time. Calendar. I was talking to somebody about this today or yesterday. Where is it? Where the hell did I put it? I just had it. The hell? There it is. One thing that I always recommend, and you'll see this in my YouTube videos too, is every year I get one of these. So it is a small calendar. Right now you could probably get them from, they're probably on clearance at like Paper Plus or something like that. But it's a calendar with just like this. And what I do is I go through and I cross off any days that I can't work. Any days that I'm not going to do Scentsy appointments. And then when I talk at a party or I talk to somebody, I say, well, let's get together. Do you want a weeknight or a weekend? Oh, let's do a weekend. Great. Saturday or Sunday? Oh, how about a Saturday, afternoon or evening? Oh, what about 3 o'clock? Yep, that works. So Sunday at 3 o'clock. Great. I'll send you out a packet, or I'll give you, or I give them the packet or whatever. And I say, and at a party, I just hand this around, go, just put your name and time wherever you want, that there's not an X. This does not have anything else in it except for Scentsy stuff. It has my free vacations in it because I'm away having a free vacation. It has parties in it. It has my days off. I usually write at the top of the calendar, new catalog and things like that. So if we're at a party, they can kind of sell, and it helps me remember. But keep it simple. Keep it very simple. This is great visual. Do not have your phone there. Do not have your phone there and go, well, what about this day? And make them try to see it. People like the visual of this, and they like to count paydays, and they like to see it. They can't see it in their brain if it's not written down. And it's something that I've learned and I stick with for sure, no matter what. The other thing is I remember things visually. So I know that I have a party on this day and a party on this day. So if I'm out and about and I don't have my calendar with me, someone will say, hey, could we do a party on this and this day? And I can actually think in my head, like visualize my calendar and go, actually, I think that works. I'll confirm it once I'm home, but I think that works. And then I go, what time? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock. I kind of go through those kind of things. But this keeps them organized, and they don't need to know your life business. They shouldn't see your whole planner. They shouldn't see your doctor's appointments. They shouldn't see your kids' crap. It's just, this is all that matters. This is when I can do a party, and this is when I can't. That's it. Don't over confuse it. Product training guide. That's something else that, if you haven't bought one of these from the consultant store, it's something that I always get every season. And the reason being, when they have new products out, when I do posts that really affect people, especially in my parties, I copy the feature and benefits right out of here. This is the stuff people want to know about. So if you are new and you don't know what to say in a post, take a picture of your product and then go through your product training guide and go, so the features and the benefits of a deluxe diffuser. and then another post for, you know, and have it going, and then put the things that would speak to you in those items, and use emoticons and things like that to zhuzh it up and to get attention. But this is like your cheat sheet of what to say and how to say it and how to sell product. It's cheap too. It's like really cheap. And I also put these in bag parties because it explains everything. If I'm not there, it explains everything. So this is definitely something I highly recommend. This is your product training guide. Systems. To use your time wisely, you need good systems. So there is a video from Christina Stainbrook called Scalable Systems. I tried it. It didn't work quite for me, but I took different things out of it that do work for me. And a lot of times that's what systems are. You see what this person does and you see what that person does, and you look around and you go, well, that doesn't quite work for me, but this would work for me, or I'll keep this, but I'll try that from this system. You need a routine and you need a plan, and you need to be disciplined and with those things for all of your life, like for your home, for work, for school, for whatever that looks like to you. You have the 5x5 sheet that I highly recommend everybody do at least 5 days a week. Doesn't take that long to do it. You have the 90-day slate. Takes a bit longer and it gets you a bit further, but it's more of a time commitment. And you just have your daily to-do list and your power hour. And your power hour doesn't have to be an hour in one hit. It can be 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here, and 15 minutes there. It's what you do in those times. The only things that matter during those times are booking appointments, which means talking to people, selling product, which means talking to people, and recruiting and sponsoring people, which means talking to people. So I learned early on from another direct sales company I was with, from my director there, she always said between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., those are people time. You talk to people. Before 9 and after 9, you can do the busy work. You can make the samples. You can label your catalogs. You can make pretty join packets. You can do all these things. But make sure you have your people stuff done. So the 5x5 was ask 5 people a day to host, ask 5 people a day to join, talk to 5 different people on their social media so you're engaging. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a big idea, but you have to do the right things when you have short amount of time so that it pays off. The other thing is when you're at a Scentsy party and you book a Scentsy party, do everything at the party. You want to sell product at the party, obviously. You want to recruit at the party and find potential recruits and talk to them. And you're going to talk about recruiting, obviously, in your presentation. But you're also going to get more hosts, so you won't have to do the booking outside of the party. So if you're getting the booking, joining, and hosting all in one spot, you are taking that 3 hour of time and you are maximizing it and making it work for you because you have a limited amount of time. Use the time you have wisely and make it work for you, okay? Because the more people you get in front of at one time, the better and more efficient your business will run. And that is why Scentsy parties are such a big deal. You always have a choice. You can use it as an excuse. Oh, but my neighbor stopped by. Well, that's great, but sometimes you have to say, I'm sorry, I can't visit right now. Can I come see you at this time? I'm working right now. Are you a pushover? Are you a fly by the seat of your pants? Oh, if you keep acting the way you're acting right now in your business, are you going to be anywhere different in a year or in 5 years? Or are you just going to let your day control you? Are you going to answer every text? Are you going to answer every phone call? Are you going to answer the door and let them come in all the time, even if you had that planned time to do your business? I don't. First of all, I don't like people just stopping by. If you haven't called, I'm probably not letting you in because it's rude. But second of all, just because I work from home doesn't mean I work. My landlord once in a while will rock up and I'll just go like this, like with my finger. And it's rude and I know it's rude, but he also knows me by this point. Like, don't. But I'm having a sign made for my door that says, do not disturb working, so that he doesn't even knock. Nobody knocks. I have things to do. I have an income to earn. So, you know, I know it seems strict to a lot of you, but you have to have discipline if you want. And look, when you're with your kids, you're with your kids. When you're with your man, you're with your man. But when you're working Scentsy, you're working Scentsy. You can't, you know, you can't blur those boundaries too much sometimes, unless everybody's on board. But even then, the kids need their own time, and the man still needs to feel like the man, and you still need your time, because if you're depleted and you have no energy and you're not taking good care of yourself, everything else in your life is going to fall to crap too. So the balance and making that calendar and finding your pockets and sticking to the times that you committed to. Yep, this is what I'm doing my business. This day and this day. If that's all you have, great. But what are you going to do to make those 2 time slots work for you like crazy, and then sprinkle Scentsy all the way through? I was listening to a video before I came on here, and she was talking about how she always had a 2,000 PRV goal, and she's got 6 kids, works out of the home full time, and she has another business. So that's why I used her, because I was just listening to her video. And she said, I always wanted 2,000 PRV, but if it was like, you know, the last week of the month and I had 1,500, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. She goes, when my business really grew was when I stopped thinking that that was fine. Because you may not think that you control that, but you do. You control everything pretty much in your business. You might not be able to control people's responses or replies or outcomes, but you can control how many people you talk to. And that is the basis, that is the foundation, that is the everything to this business. How are you building relationships? How many people are you coming in contact with? And are you doing it consistently? And if you aren't where you need to be, how many more do you need to contact? For the first 2.5 years of my business, I wanted to have at least 2 bookings a week. And I usually had 2 to 4. But if it was the second week of, like, say, July, and I wasn't booked up the first 2 weeks of August yet, you better believe I just kept texting people until they were booked. It wasn't a number. I went, I'm going to call 10 people and see what happens. No, I'm going to contact as many people as it takes to get those bookings. So what is your attitude on that? Are you like, nah, I don't care? But then do you feel bad and have FOMO when people are earning things and getting shout outs and earning trips, and you wish that that would have been you? Listen to those things. Listen to the jealousy, because the jealousy and the FOMO means you want that. But you just have to connect the gap of, it's all right, to, I will get it done. So what do you need to do in that little gap of that? The 4 chords, I'll post the picture of that again. I post it at least once a year because I firmly believe in it. Orville did a longer presentation at convention several years ago, and it was about the campfire thing, but it was also about 4 chords. And every hit song has the same 4 chords in music. And he said, so do successful Scentsy consultants. And the 4 chords, in my opinion, if I'm doing what the 4 chords request that I do, the rest will happen. The trips will happen. Everything will happen. The promotions will happen. You stick to the 4 chords. Simple. That's what happens. Your brain is what gets in the way, and then things don't happen. So I will post the 4 chords and what it takes, and it's basically booking, selling, recruiting, and taking care of yourself. So that's what that is. What was the other one? Here. Start looking at what attraction marketing is. Know that even though people aren't commenting or liking your post, that people are watching you. Do not think people don't see what you're doing. People do. So keep your post positive. Stop talking about how sick you are. Stop the whining and the weird complaining posts. People are watching you, and nobody wants to be in anything that is more dreary, draining, stressful, drama-filled. They want something that makes them smile, something that lights up their day, something positive for once. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, and we need to show people that we do have something positive. A lot of people come into your life with Scentsy because they want, you know, one of the things that I hear so much is that people have tried other direct sales companies, including myself, and they come in with skepticism. They come in with doubt. They come in with their walls up because of how they were treated. And then after a little while, they go, I can't believe how much Scentsy is so different, and how nice people are, and how people share things, and how people support each other. Yes, that is the difference. And most people don't get that. So it is a gift to be in Scentsy, and you need to be telling people and inviting people to be part of this family. On Sunday night, plan your week. Some people do meal prep where they plan their food for the week and they cook it all on a Sunday. You need to meal prep your Scentsy calendar. On Sunday night, I look and go, what do I have for the week? Where am I doing my Scentsy things? What do I have? Just so that it's all sorted and I know exactly what. And there's some days where I'll be like, no, I'm not going to have on that time, so I'm going to have to do it on this day. So make sure that you are meal prepping your Scentsy calendar every single week. On Sunday night, look ahead of what Monday will bring. There are ways to do parties without doing home parties. Because again, your job is to collect as many names as possible and get as many new customers and leads as you possibly can, people you don't know. So bag parties, pouch parties, unique shopping links. If you watch the video from Debbie Pitts Palmer from SFR, scent crates and scent bags, incentives to order from a party link. You could do a mystery host. You can do personal. You can do the mystery bags. You can do, there's so many things, but you need to have something going all the time. Make sure you're scheduling your posts in your VIP group or on your business page or in your team pages if you don't have a lot of time. That's what I do on the first Monday night of the month. I schedule everything to post Tuesday morning when I'm sleeping because I'm sleeping. So I don't have to worry about it. It just posts and then I can answer things when I wake up. Learn how to use Instagram and Facebook stories. It's important. Sip and sniff. Have coffee. So many people I know have coffee with people. Bring your scents. Hey, can I get your opinion? What do you think of these? I brought these along for us to smell. Is it uncomfortable the first couple times you do it? Yes. Because it's not smooth and it's not rolling, but it will. And if you're smart, I usually go to the mall and sit in the food court or a restaurant and say, hey, I'm going to be at this location from this time to this time. Who wants to come and smell all the new scents and get a catalog? And let me know, and I'll have a goodie bag waiting for you as well. And people come, and maybe it's usually 2 or 3 that I have come, like at different times, and I just sit there and I will have a party order before I leave. So it's a way to get a party, but I can still work on other things while I'm sitting at the mall. We can't control whether they buy or join, but we can control how many people we talk to. The answer to everything is talk to more people. Oh, I can't get any bookings. Talk to more people. Oh, I can't get anybody to join. Talk to more people. Okay? I can't get anybody to host. Talk to more people. Happy Mail. I love that you all share it in Team WunderBar when you get Happy Mail from me. But share it on your personal page. You need to share things with people that aren't buying, people that are watching, people that aren't in our group. You need to show people that you can get recognized and get Happy Mail for just doing your job. Because most people don't get recognized unless it's negatively at their job. So they don't get things in the mail and they don't get good things. They get bills or garbage in the mail or newspapers. They don't get way to go things. So share your things. That is how I recruited a lot of people, is they just saw all the things that I was getting and they wanted it too. And I'll tell you what, the people that like recognition and prizes and postcards and Happy Mail, they're a lot easier for team members because they're motivated by that. They love that, like I am. You just wave something glittery in front of me and I'm like, ooh, how can I earn that? So it's easy. Social media, be social, engage. If you're taking tests about which kind of potato, I always say, what kind of potato are you, or which friends you are, or, you know, your personality of this. If you see me doing that, that means I've done my work, because I don't allow myself to do those unless it's my day off or I'm done with my work, or I'm taking a break for lunch or something like that. But be social, talk to people, reply to things, ask people questions as you reply. So the algorithms start to work for you and more people see your posts. Have somebody in your life that has your best interests and want you to succeed. Have them keep you in check. Everybody needs one person at least that's going to keep them in check and not buy into the bullshit stories and excuses that you're giving. It might not have to be a Scentsy person, but it needs to be somebody that will be like, I love you, but I call bullshit. Why didn't you do this? You said you were going to do this. You said you're going to get 200 PRV by the end of the week. Why didn't you do it? And, because I don't know. That's not an answer. Do you want what you want or don't you? You make a choice. Every single time you make a choice. Talked about Sunday nights. I think that is pretty much everything I have written down. Don't forget to spend time on packaging, because really good customer service actually will save you time in the long run, because they're going to be loyal to you and they're going to keep coming back, and you won't always have to be working. I don't have to do 2 to 4 parties a month or 2 to 4 parties a week anymore to get my 2,000 PRV, because I take really good care of my customers. So even just doing that is working smarter, not harder. So when you go to hospitals, when you go to schools, when you go anywhere where there's lots of people, find a way to sprinkle samples in there or reward the staff or something. It's not changing your day in any way. It's not taking up more time. It's about being prepared, and it's about basically just sprinkling. Honest to God, it's like throwing confetti of Scentsy everywhere. Sprinkle that shit everywhere. All right. Any questions on anything I said? You're all very quiet tonight, and I've talked a lot. And thank you and for everybody that has supported Janice and really cheered her on. And congratulations again to Combined Scents for being an official team. I think she's submitting the paperwork on the 10th to get the name approved, because there is a, once it's approved, nobody else can choose that name. So I know you are. I know you are. All right. I think that's it for this. What are we at? 9:30. Ooh, almost right on the button. Look at me. It would have been shorter if I didn't have to go through the beginning part, but I'm very excited to be working with Combined Scents and their amazing leader, Janice. So I think that's it for now, everybody. But if you have questions, please pop them below, or yeah, that's all I got. All right. Good night, everybody.